You ever make a tiny mistake, but in your head it just feels like the end of the world? Well, today we're diving into a single page from an old text that's all about that feeling. It's about a simple accident that spirals into this huge crisis of faith and the absolutely incredible lengths someone went to just to try and make it right.
So, this is it. This is the actual page we're looking at. This one, first-person story, is all we have to go on. It's like we've been handed a diary page, a totally unfiltered look into someone's deepest spiritual crisis and how they found their way back. All right, so let's set the scene. Our story kicks off not with some big dramatic event, but with a tiny little accident. It's just a single dropped object, but it sets off this massive chain reaction, leading to a profound spiritual breakdown. It all begins during the prep for Mass. A host, that small wafer of bread that used for communion, gets accidentally dropped. Now, for most of us, that's probably just, oops. But in this world, in this belief system, that simple act has absolutely staggering consequences.
And here's the real kicker, the uncertainty. As the text says, nobody knew for sure. Was this just a piece of bread, or had the blessing already happened, making it sacred? That one little doubt, that what if, is the spark that's about to light this huge fire of anguish.
So you've got to be asking, right? Why? Why is this such a big deal? How can one little wafer falling cause such a massive crisis? Well, it all comes down to belief. For our narrator, a consecrated host isn't just a symbol, like a logo or something. No, it's believed to be the literal, physical presence of the divine here on earth. So, for it to fall, to be treated with anything less than perfect reverence, that's not just disrespectful, it's a spiritual catastrophe, a five-alarm fire for the soul.
And you can just feel the personal pain in this line, can't you? The narrator doesn't see this as some clerical error. For them, this is a direct, personal offense against God, an indignity and irreverence that they feel completely responsible for.
Okay, so you're faced with this crushing sense of failure. What do? Well, our narrator doesn't give in to despair. Instead, they take action. They go straight to the source, asking the divine for a way forward. And this goes way beyond just feeling guilty. This is a powerful, gut-wrenching need to atone, to fix what's been broken. The narrator is just overwhelmed with this feeling that they have to repair the damage from this terrible offense.
And this prayer right here tells you everything about their mindset. They don't try to just make something up. They ask for direct instructions. They're basically pleading, just tell me what to do. What will make this right in your eyes? It's like asking for a divine instruction manual for redemption.
And according to the text, an answer comes. And that brings us to the plan, a very clear, very structured, and frankly an incredibly demanding way to pay the spiritual debt.
Yeah, this wasn't some vague, you're forgiven feeling. Oh no. What the narrator believes they received was a concrete to-do list, a detailed, divinely inspired plan to make things right. So, let's break down what that actually involved.
The entire plan hinges on one single number, 225. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. This isn't a small gesture. This number, 225, is the bedrock for the entire act of reparation. So how does that number play out? Well, the plan has three really demanding parts. First, prayer. Recite the Lord's Prayer 225 times. Second, charity. Perform 225 separate acts of charity for others. And third, a constant state of self-denial, giving up all vain and useless pleasures to focus completely on this task.
The text even gives the why behind this, pulling a quote straight from Scripture. This idea basically transforms those 225 acts of kindness from just being nice deeds into 225 direct offerings to God.
But hold on, the story doesn't just end there, with checking off boxes on a spiritual to-do list. The final and maybe the most important part of this whole journey is the narrator's big realization. It's a shift in focus, away from their own actions and onto the nature of forgiveness itself. This quote, wow, this is really the heart of it all. The narrator is just completely blown away. They realize that, a just God could have demanded punishment, but instead, this merciful God accepts their efforts, their offering. It's a moment of pure, unadulterated grace.
So you see the shift, right? The story starts with this focus on human error, on I messed up, and the fear of what comes next. But it ends with this incredible sense of awe at divine mercy. The act of penance is no longer about paying a debt, it's become a gift that's been lovingly accepted. And that kind of leaves us with this big question to chew on. This incredibly intense, structured, and deeply personal act of faith, what does it really tell us about that universal human need to find meaning and to find forgiveness? It's a really powerful look at how we try to make things right in a world of deep, profound belief.